most difficult thing in this film was simulating the effects of these large-scale tornadoes.
To me, I look around at the 100-mile-an-hour fan and the rain towers, and I just sort of go, "Whew, this is big."
It made everything as real as can be.
You're more reacting than you are acting.
It gets you really the adrenaline pumping. It's so exciting.
Our actors had to play in the rain probably about a third of the film.
Trey, put the camera down and get on the bus!
So I showed up one of the first days to set, and there are these huge cranes. I mean, the largest cranes I've ever seen. I was like, what are those for? They're like, those are the rain towers. And I was like, of course they are.
It's great fun to get wet, and then after a while you're like, will you please just turn off that rain machine and stop throwing leaves in my face?
Just surviving. You're literally thinking this is happening and you're trying to run to shelter.
When I read the script, I read it for the story, and I thought the story was really kind of moving and touching and personal and human, and I wanted to be a part of it. And then we got into production, and I went, wait, I'm sorry. I'm wet from where to where?
This was my first rain shot ever, which I've always been kind of worried about because I thought it would always be kind of miserable, but it's actually one of the most fun things ever.
For the film to work, it needs to be as real and raw as it can be. You don't want it to ever look like you're making anything that's fantasy or fiction.
So when you're on set, you actually are kind of brought into this world, and you really feel like you've been through a tornado.
And action!
We were literally getting golf ball-sized hailstones thrown at us.
In those moments, as you finish a scene, your heart is still racing. You're actually breaking a sweat now. It feels like you just ran through a tornado.
I didn't expect to be running towards a truck which was falling out of the sky 10 meters in front of me.
3, 2, 1, action!
It's cool because there's not that much that we have to imagine because it's crazy enough just trying to get from point A to point B in the scene.
All the actors were really game and did some amazing wire rigs with wind blowing and stuff like that. So it was great to see everybody, you know, stepping up to the challenges.
They stick you on a rig, and some guy is holding onto a rope and jumps off a ladder, and you go, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it is. It's a lot of fun.
So I had this wire attached to my back and this harness that came around, and they're pulling me, and then up I went about 40 feet in the air. Got a little lift, then came back, then lift. Kind of very real. It was pretty awesome.
Dad, please help us! The building fell down on top of us and there's water pouring in. I don't know how long we've gone.
When we were in the pit, it was really overwhelming.
I think we need to do a cue with the megaphone once the water cue is here.
Sure.
And then
kind of say, listen.
Yeah, when
Everyone
he says
stand still.
listen, then you can say the action cue.
Oh, boy! Listen! Nobody move!
I mean, it really was a tight 8-foot pit. We had metal, metal over the top of us and rubble, and it was kind of, kind of no acting required once you're in there, particularly when it begins to fill with water.
There was so much going on, so much water pouring in at times, and so much just water surrounding us, and then it would get cold, and so to then do really emotional performances on top of that, it can be quite difficult.
In the script it says, Gary jumps in and rescues Donnie, and the top of the water is being hit by the rainstorm, and sort of I'm hanging upside down with a knife trying to free him. So it's anything but usual.
I got you. It's okay, she's here.
It's okay.
I love you, son.
We got him now. We got him now.
It ultimately gives the actors a completely realistic environment of which to act and react in.
They've created sets that really add to the intimacy and the fear of the scene.
As an actor, I don't think I could necessarily even simulate that on my own within my head. I had no bearing for what it was really like to experience that power like that, to feel Mother Nature attacking.
There was a weird sense of fear and thrill. I thought this is how it must be, because I've never seen a tornado before, but it must be terrifying seeing this thing come towards you.
This is part of why you do a movie like this, because how many times in your life do you get to play in this kind of a playground?